What's up everybody, Smyers here. Today I want to show you how to make the Synth to Mwaki by Zerb and sofiya nzau. Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this new melodic house sound mixed with African influences, like with amapiano, has become very popular lately. And this Mwaki song has this synth in it, this plucky synth that I hear in a bunch of these style of songs. So I figured I'd just show you how to quickly make it because it's really easy. This is the sound I'm going to show you how to make. And with the drums. So let's go ahead and open up a blank instance of Serum and take off these effects. So I can just leave the oscillator A on the default wavetable. I am going to add on some noise. So let's do a analog J106 noise and take down this level. Envelope 1, let's go ahead and give it some release. Take down this decay, raise up the attack. Envelope 2, I'm going to eventually assign envelope 2 to the filter. So let's go ahead and zoom in there, give it a curve, raise up this attack, take down this decay. So take it down to about 250 or so milliseconds. And then my filter, I'm going to use the I'll just use the low 24 filter and turn on key tracking so that the filter changes depending on what key I play. So then I'll assign this envelope 2 to the cutoff, hit Shift and Option or Alt, take this down to about 500 or so. Let's do about 570, and then take down the modulation to about 25. And I want to raise up this resonance because I think in their original song, it has quite a bit of like resonance sounding in the plucks. And then I just took up the drive and fat, and now you can hear that noise. Gives it a bit of like a vintagey feel. I'm not going to put the noise through the filter, although you can do that. And then for the effects, I'm just going to add on a compressor. And then I'll add on a soft clip distortion, setting the drive and mix around 40%. And then this hyperdimension, this is how I'm going to get my width. I'm using the dimension, have the size at about 20% and mix that at 40%. It almost gives it like this slapback feel. And then I'll just add on some EQ. This is around 1 kilohertz, about a 3 to 4 dB boost. And then that's all I got to do in Serum. So then after that, I just add on some reverb. I like using like an ambience reverb. You can hear like what a difference that makes putting on that ambience reverb. And then just kickstart 2. Just sidechain to the kick. So there you have it. Very, very fast, very simple way to make that synth sound. Just like a plucky, saw wavy synth. There are some other saw wave options in oscillator A. You could try something like Basic Mini, might get you a bit of a different sound. Let me take off that kickstart. You could try maybe like this one's kind of like a saw wave. Might get you a bit of a different sound. Now I'm just going through some different options you have to change up the sound a bit. You could also, I'm using the hyper to add width, this hyperdimension. You could take this off and do unison here. Will get you a bit of a different sound. But it'll get you some width. You could also try doing something like this and turning on this B filter. And maybe adjusting this fine tuning a bit will get you kind of like a different sound. You could also take this noise, use something like a bright white noise, and put this through the filter and raise it up. So you can't really hear it, you can kind of hear the noise, But then I could go to this macro knob, assign it to the cutoff, and then I could automate this. And then as I raise that up, you hear more of this bright white noise. So it's kind of like a way to add some tension in the song. And then you could just like label this cutoff. I could also assign this to the sustain. And then this will like raise up the sustain of envelope 2. So actually, let me just do this independently so you can hear what it sounds like. So it's like taking away that pluck sound. You could use this, adjust this modulation on the sustain and assign it to the cutoff. And now as I raise up this cutoff, that pluckiness will start to go away. Now, when I take it to the max, the pluckiness obviously goes away because you don't have the filter on, but this almost just like takes away that pluckiness a bit faster by raising up the sustain as well. So let me give you an example of it assigned to the sustain and the cutoff. And let's go ahead and remove this modulation. So you can hear the difference. Now, another thing you could do is you could have this kind of mono like this with the dimension turned off. You could have this B filter on, put this on like 7 voices of unison. And then assign this oscillator B to a macro knob. And then you can have like part of the song where it is like mono and then it could get wider. So you could say this is like width. And this is like how, if you have seen any of my presets, this is kind of what I do for these macro knobs. It's kind of just like add variations like this. You could also like add in some delay. So I could do like, I like a ping pong delay. Adding a bit of filter. You can play around with the hyper. So just some variations to make this pluck sound a bit more interesting. That first way that I showed you, that's just how I made it to sound like the Mwaki version. So if you do just want to grab this preset, I'll put a link down below. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also please subscribe to my channel if you are not yet subscribed. And if you'd like to check out any of my Serum preset packs, head on over to store.synthsmyers.com.